So this is my Smackdown review for the 22nd February edition 2025. This was a bad Smackdown. I actually liked last week's Smackdown, but I think this was a bad Smackdown. Like it was. Like let's start with the the most notable thing and maybe the only notable thing that happened on the show, which was The Rock showed up with a weird ass rap intro at the start of his music, which actually kind of like the crowd died at that moment. They were like, "What the fuck is happening?" And I was also like, "What is this? Some WrestleMania for 42? Some kind of like rap announcement video package or something?" But then no, he just came out there. The thing is, when his truck showed up, like I don't really go like that, but I was like, the final boss is here. The final boss is here. And then he came in the ring. I was like, okay, are we getting the final boss? Like he doesn't have that gray beard anymore. He's there. But then I saw him like shaking people's hand, giving people their phones back, like which landed in like the wrestlers area, and I was a little bit scared. And then at the start also, like he took a lot of time in his entrance, and even at the start of his promo, he was like, "I am in New Orleans. Thank you, everyone," and everything. Like, okay, WrestleMania is happening next year in New Orleans, Louisiana. But then one thing with Rock is the way he switches from a crowd pleaser to like just a demon. It's like he's two different people, and the way it happens, it is like it's like that. And he was like, shut up, you're a bunch of STD bunch of fellas and everything. Then he was like, I was not just here to, announce that WrestleMania is taking next place in New Orleans. I am here to, also have a talk with Cody Rhodes. So he called out Cody Rhodes. People were really happy to see Cody Rhodes. Like I have heard many people say, "Oh no, people are turning on Cody and everything." He got a big pop tonight, big pop. Cody was also taken out of the main event tag match because the final boss wanted to have a talk with him, and I'm glad that they played it into the storyline. Like Nick Aldis told Cody like, I don't have this in my hands. He's on the TKO board and he wants to have a talk, so you're not in the main event tag match. Then he came down, and essentially Rock said that that he is friends with Cody now. People booed, and then he was like, our mothers are also friends and everything. The thing that the thing that I want from you, Cody, is that first that no one gets away by slapping the Rock. I wanted to face Roman Reigns. I asked the Triple H and Nick Khan that the biggest match in wrestling history has to happen, but then you said bleep 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 like two or three times Rock abused and they bleeped it out. So I didn't actually got to know what the Rock said. Then he was like, but that's fine because I admire you. You're my brother and everything. And like the that you are their people's champion. I know because I have been their people's champion. But thing is, you have millions of followers, but I have 500,000 following me. That's not a flex. It's that I can make that happen. I can make you the champion. The only thing that you got to do is you have to be my champion. And Cody is like, I'm the people's champion. Like, no, no. And he was like, yeah, I get that. I get that you're the people's champion, but I want to be something greater than that. And this was what the gist was on the promo. It's just that The Rock rambles a lot. Like this segment was like 26 minutes, and if a reviewer tries to explain to you what happened, like they will not take more than 3-4 minutes because he really just said like one line, but he said it in different ways for a lot of minutes, and he said a lot of nonsense also. And The Rock was essentially like, I want this, and Cody was like, "What, you want my championship?" First of all, Cody's acting was really bad in this promo. Like, is him doing this was bad. The only expression that was good from Cody was at the end, at the very end, when The Rock says, I don't want that Universal Championship. I want your soul. And if you believe me, first of all, I was like, that's a weird line. But then a second later, I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, I got like taken aback. I was like scared. Like, what the fuck did I just hear? So, like, I'm scared. I was like, what? What? And The Rock said that you don't have to answer it right now. Meet me at the Elimination Chamber and, talk to your wife and give me that answer. He also talked about how, his dad and his dad are looking down on him, and, one day they will also look upon their children and all. And that was the end. And I was shocked. I still am. Like, it's pretty clear what he wants Cody to do. He wants Cody to do what he did in 98 99, as people have, talked about in on Twitter. It is essentially be corporate rock. Like, The Rock sold his soul to Vince McMahon to become the world champion back then. And that's what he wants. He wants Cody to sell his soul to The Rock to become the corporate Cody, to become Rock's champion, to be a champion of the Rock's vision. That's what he wants. And I think is like someone said on Twitter, I think this pretty much confirms the Cody versus Cena match, because maybe Cody refuses the Rock, then Cena wins. Maybe you have a kind of like, a heelish Cody in the feud, because Cody is like, I have refused the Rock. You can have Rock come in between, sometimes and be like, maybe you need me. I have defeated Cena before and all. To defeat C Nation, look at these people. They're cheering Cena more than you. So you can have those aspects in the Cody Cena storyline, and just the story can be more than just Cena going after his, you know, 17th World Championship. It can be, will Cody turn or not? Like, will will the crowd's reaction to Cena make Cody go to the dark side? I think that can be kind of another arc added to the Cody versus Cena storyline going into Mania. Now let's go to the start of the show. Drew versus Jimmy Uso. This angered me. Match was good. In the end, Jimmy gets a pin over Drew. I get what they're doing. They're continuing the storyline that Drew always gets in his way. They did that when he lost to Seth. They did that when he lost to Jay. They did that when he got, eliminated by Damian Priest in the Royal Rumble. It's just that I felt that we are done with that. Because when he came to SmackDown, I think his kind of new gimmick is he pretends that he is happy, but he is still the good old angry Drew McIntyre. It's just that he's more vicious. I just want to get to the payoff. Like some Edward guy on Twitter said, just get to the payoff now, because it just feels like he loses a lot, and we don't, as nobody really mentions it apart from like Damien did mention it, like excuses like Drew McIntyre. Just get it over with. Get someone, whatever his WrestleMania opponent is, be it Damian Priest, be like, I think someone said on Twitter like it was Nix or someone, or Switchblade season, like, or Malachi Black, and have the feud over. That, Drew, you were out there wanted to be a bloodline hunter, you were out there, trying to beat CM Punk, but always you lost because you got in your own way, and have that as the main crux of Drew's feud going into Mania. Just do it, because I'm tired of Drew McIntyre losing. Also, in the entrance, when he took his skirt off, there were cheers in the crowd. We had some gooners in the crowd also. It's just that I see Drew and I see a superstar, especially after that CM Punk feud. Like, he is in the top 6, 7 guys of the WWE. Like, he is in the leagues of CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Cody, Drew McIntyre, John Cena, Seth Rollins. He is in there, but they need to treat him like that. I know he can carry SmackDown. When after the WrestleMania, eventually either the champions get drafted to other brands, I know Drew McIntyre can carry a 3-hour SmackDown on his back alone. He carried Raw when Raw was trash. He carried it as world champion. And this Drew is much better than that Drew. This Drew has more layers. He's a great wrestler too. He is on another level now. He can do this. Just give him the ropes. Like, like Drew should be the one who should beat Jey Uso maybe at SummerSlam or something. Become the champion, stay champion till WrestleMania, then lose to Sami Zayn at WrestleMania, his world championship. And he can carry SmackDown on his back. I just know. Just get this over with and get Drew back on track. Like he went from a potential feud with Roman Reigns to losing to Jay and Jimmy. And I hope Jimmy gets something out of this, because the another thing is, you had LA and R Truth versus the Miz and Carmelo Hayes, and you know, I have to give it to them. I actually like Carmelo and Miz as a pair. Like if they become a pair and they become tag team champions, or if that is a way they get tricked to be at Carmelo's corner, you know, kicking Miz and then getting Carmelo back on track, I'm not mad with that. It's just that their finisher is awful. This match was a whole load of nothing. R-Truth is still over. He got confused because he thought LA was, you know, Louisiana Night. He wasn't. You know, Shinsuke interfered and they won. The thing is, how is LA Knight the number one contender? Like this match got essentially set up because, you know, they called this. That how is LA? Because, you know, you can say that there are reasons, because, you know, LA didn't lose to Shinsuke. He actually won the match, but by disqualification. But it's just that last week LA and Miz were like, we want to fight for the US Championship. LA won the match. Like, have not announced why LA is the number one contender? I would have liked the commentators to talk about that, because I hope it's not because LA defeated the Miz, because Andrade also defeated the Miz and he is nowhere there. Jimmy Uso has a good win-loss record. Like, why is he not staking his claim for the US Championship? Why is he not like, you know, LA? He may have, you know, won by disqualification and all, but I actually have a good win-loss record since I have come to SmackDown, and now I have defeated a former world champion in Drew McIntyre also. Why is Andrade not saying, like, was the LA versus Miz the number one contenders match? I have defeated the Miz too, and I have lost to Shinsuke, but by dubious means. Why am I not there? Like, they can make this US title division interesting, they just choose not to, because they don't have any plans how to book Shinsuke. I just hope if the LA versus Shinsuke match happens next week, have LA become the champion and have like a 7 6 7 man ladder match at Mania and have Jimmy win the title. Though I'm not too excited about that, but the thing is, who have they built apart from Jimmy to take the US Championship? Andrade has been doing nothing. He's not even on a 3 hour show. Carmelo is now there with the Miz. He got a win. I'm happy, but I don't know what Melo's future is. He's going to be another body if there is a 7 man ladder match. I don't think they have built him up to that they will have him win the US Championship. Andrade is not built up that, so there is only, you know, Jimmy there. So have Jimmy win the ladder match, become the US champion. LA doesn't really lose anything because, you know, he was champion. He didn't lose, you know, got pinned or anything at Mania. Gives LA a Mania, you know, 7 man ladder match. You know, Jay and Jimmy can have a moment after the night one main event, both holding their singles titles. So yeah, you can do that. You also had, you know, the tag team division, you know, DIY actually got a heel reaction after that Rock segment. I thought the people would be, you know, silent, but DIY getting actual heel heat was good. Like, they were actually doing good booking with the tag division. I think they lost their way after they like quickly turned Pretty Deadly into faces. Like, this should have been a storyline where Pretty Deadly are subjugated by DIY for months, have been manipulated by DIY for months, and then eventually at Mania, maybe if during the tag team title match, as opponents or in their corners, they finally turn on DIY, and then they have a huge face turn, and then you can, you know, have a match where, you know, they defeat DIY and eventually win the titles. But you turn them baby faces prematurely and they don't really get any crowd reactions. They're good wrestlers. The match was actually fine. you know, DIY's new gimmick is moment of silence. That didn't work because DA Pretty Deadly interfered. Then Street Profits interfered. They attacked Pretty Deadly, ensuring that the match ended in disqualification and Pretty Deadly won the match. The one, the one thing I don't understand is why why did they attack Pretty Deadly? Like they attacked Motor City Machine Guns because they were like, we want to beat a DIY for the titles, right? So why didn't they just like attack pre attack DIY, ensuring they get the disqualification win, so then they can say to Pretty Deadly that we won the tag title match, so you don't get a shot, and that way Street Profits don't have to beat another team to get a title match. So that didn't make sense to me. They attacked them. One thing is this segment made Street Profits looks like monsters. One thing is that like their tag team maneuvers were really good. The way that Angelo Dawkins threw one of the, I think it was Tommaso or someone, into Montez Ford, and then Montez gave like a weak looking suplex, but the way he threw was awesome. The way like Angelo Dawkins was moving was good. Like it didn't feel like he was really injured for a while, but he was. Then Motor City Machine Guns kind of got bitched out because they attacked them from the front. They still got beaten up by Street Profits. First of all, them in those dresses, like whatever the dresses that the MCMG had, like you really notice how small they really are. The way Angelo Dawkins was holding Shelly, and then they gave them their a kind of a power bomb neck breaker thing. Montez also gave a sick looking frog splash, and they are on top. And it also looked like, yeah, this match got cut down because this match probably had this same finish also, but I think this would have gone a lot more if the Rock Cody segment had not happened. They had a weird Tiffany uh, Candice LeRae match. Tiffany came out. The thing is, Tiffany has to improve on the mic because the thing is, she still has that, Tiffy time, like that vibe, that kind of bitchy vibe, high school bitchy vibe. And she's kind of like, she's a baby, type of a baby face, but in her own, Tiffy way. And she was essentially like, I don't really want to talk about Candice right now. I want to talk about Charlotte Flair and how Charlotte Flair, you know, like she should be worried that I'm taking her that not I'm taking her legacy. I'm taking a top girl position in the company. Then Candice and Naya come out and they're like, how do you believe that you are even going to WrestleMania? We're going to beat you and your mentor at Elimination Chamber. Candice said Candice is really perfect in her new role as Naya's sidekick. Naya did her usual lines, and then they were like, we don't want to wait for it. And I'm glad that Naya mentioned that I'm coming back for the women's championship after Elimination Chamber after we annihilate you. Then they were like, we want to take you out right now, but the ref stopped. Then the match happened. The match was a whole load of nothing. Charlotte Flair came out. She sat down. She was like, Tiffy was wrong. I am not the top girl. I'm the top woman of the company. Match happened. Tiffany won the match. Weird match. And then Nia attacked her after the match, and she gave the worst looking annihilator I have ever seen. She just like gently sat down on both of them, and it's been like two times where Naya has taken out both Tiffany and whoever who wants to help her. Like, what is happening? Trish Stratus came out to a pop and she took out both, and this has happened two times. I just don't get it. We have seen Naya losing. She has lost to Bianca before. She lost to Tiffy. So since the Royal Rumble, they have really heated Naya a lot. Like she did lose to Rhea Ripley, but she has looked way too strong, and she doesn't need to look that strong. And then Naya went out, and Charlotte came in the ring. I'm just like, why is Naya not angry with Charlotte? Like, why isn't Naya angry that Charlotte always like takes her limelight because she beats up Tiffany, but Charlotte always stands tall over Tiffany as the last shot. And why is Naya not angry with Charlotte that she has not even mentioned her name, that she can take the women's championship from Tiffany and face Charlotte at Mania. Why is she not angry about that? Then Charlotte did the point at the WrestleMania sign. She did the whole, like the feet towards Tiffany, lie down Tiffany. I'm just like, man, Tiffany has to win at Mania. Like she has been humiliated a lot in this feud. Like it would be really sad now because I'm like, to get this humiliated and then still lose at Mania for Tiffany would be sad. Would be sad a lot. You also had, Naya and Naomi and Bianca backstage, and they were like talking to Byron and were like, Jade has been out for a lot of months, so she's resting. This is why we are not having text and all between us. And then they were like, but now we want to take care of business on our own. And they were like, we are going to beat Liv and Raquel at Raw, but tonight I'm going to take on Liv Morgan. Then they came out to the ring. They were attacked by Liv and Raquel. They beat their ass, and then they went away. The thing is, the match did get cut, but I like this better. Like this beatdown feels a lot better. Like this does much better for the feud rather than just another match. Like you got the same result that you would have got even if the match had happened. Like Liv and Raquel got heat, and now Monday probably Jade returns or something happens in the women's tag team championship match. Backstage Nick Aldis was angry. He was like, why? Like, why did you attack? I'm going to talk with Adam Pearce about that. Liv laughed on his face and went away. Then Chelsea interrupted Nick and was like, now that uh, Bianca and Naomi are not going to make the elimination chamber, you should add me and Piper Niven there. And they were like, he was like, no, they're going to make. But the thing is, you have angered me because Chelsea was like, I am the youngest US Women's Champion and all, and they have angered me. So you should wait. So what I do to you, essentially like what her match is going to be, and like because the Cody and Rock segment is also happening at Elimination Chamber, are they going to add another match? Because in a way it makes sense. Like maybe they'll not add another men's match because you already, and because it kind of makes sense if you had at Chelsea Green because she is from Canada, but you already have that kind of Canada quota type interest status. But otherwise, if Braun and AJ is the plan for Mania, then they are not going to be there. Shinsuke versus LA, I don't think it makes Elimination Chamber. I think it's probably going to happen next week. Let's see what happens. But Triple H's obsession with like 5 match cards, I think is it's going to be 4 matches and like one segment, and then that one segment is going to go for long because it's The Rock. It's going to be The Rock and Cody. So I don't think they're going to add another match. Then also, you had Damien Priest backstage. He was talking to Cody and he was like, why is your pal here? Cody was like, I don't know. And Damien was like, I respect you enough to say that I'm going to take I'm coming for a championship after Elimination Chamber. Cody was like, I would have it and no other way. He also said that we both walked out as champions last year. Then Cody went away. Braun Strowman interrupted. He was like, I had Jacob up, and if it was not for Solo Sikoa, I would have won the match. And Damien was like, no, it's fine, but let's not get into it. But are you going to handle business with me tonight? Because we're going to have 2 of the baddest men in WWE and we're going to face them. Braun was like, yeah, nothing more. One thing I don't get is like, why is the Braun and Jacob feud not really getting looked at? Like, the thing that happened at Saturday Night's main event, then Braun eliminated Jacob at the Royal Rumble. Then after that, it looks like their feud is not the main point. It's more about Solo and Jacob. I get why, but first finish the Jacob and Braun feud because they have been involved with each other. Like they have interfered in each other's matches, but it doesn't feel like they're having a feud. It just feels like they're parts of something else. Like finish the Jacob and Braun feud before Mania. Like we need a penultimate match. Have Braun versus Jacob. Have either Braun win or Jacob win. I would have Jacob win, and then Jacob be face Solo, because you also had a segment earlier where it was Jacob and Solo, and Jacob essentially threatened Solo, and it was like me and Tonga have been handling business for the past week since you have been gone, and if your kick was intentional, you know, you wouldn't be standing here. And Solo was like, but it wasn't, and that's why I love you, Jacob. And I like this dynamic because Solo knows he's not the leader anymore because he's not the tribal chief. He knows that he's in a loser's position because he is not in power anymore, and he's kind of like, playing second fiddle to Jacob because he wants the band to be together, so eventually in the future he can, manipulate Jacob and go for the title again. So I like this. And essentially, what else happened on this show? That's why, like, this show was a whole load of like nothing essentially. Then, then I will probably talk about the main event. I like the main event, like the match with the actual good match on the show. Like, I don't think any other match was like good on the show which happened. So the actual good match happened on the show, and I like Damien and Braun versus Jacob and Solo. The end sequence was good. Solo inadvertently kicked, uh, Jacob inadvertently kicked Solo in the face. Then Damien threw Jacob out. Braun did like a great, like, choo-choo train thing, and he threw both Tonga and Jacob like from the sides of the announce table. And then in the end, Damien hit the South of Heaven and won. He got he got good. He looks good before the chamber. He was getting good reactions, light reactions, but good reactions from the crowd too. I liked how Damien works best when he's stiff in the ring, when he does a lot more of his kicks, punches, and it's stiff. Like his match at SummerSlam against Gunther shows the way that Damien should wrestle his matches and the way that his opponents wrestle the matches. I think he should be like Sheamus. He should just tell his opponents, I'm going to be stiff in the ring. Like, be stiff with me in the ring also. I think he'll have more good matches consistently. I like how, like, they have, like, Damien feels much more of a star on SmackDown than he was on Raw because he's kind of like in the main event and he looked at the WrestleMania sign and that was that. Braun has also, like, got like some wins now under his belt. Good. I just need that Jacob and Braun match, like get Jacob that win. So that was my SmackDown review. That was a bad SmackDown overall. I'm excited for what happens with Cody and Rock, but apart from that, they need to fix a lot of stuff with SmackDown. They do. So that was my review for today. It was a 2 out of 5, 2.5, 2 out of 5 SmackDown. So that was it for me today. So if you like this type of content, like, share and subscribe the video. If you don't, share it with those who do. My social media links, which are my Instagram and Twitter links, are in the description. Go follow me on that. My UPI ID link, which is shareboy@OKICICI, is in the description too. So donate any amount of money which you can, because it will help me into making YouTube a permanent career option. So that was it for me for right now. Today 2 videos will come. A try not to laugh reaction will come later. So thank you. Goodbye. Alvida.